Hi guys, and welcome back to Daniel Does DFW, where we talk about everything theater. I am Daniel, right? I hope so. Maybe, we'll see. We're about to find out. I am super excited because we have our next guest, and it's one of my favorite people. And it's actually one of our first straight actors. Yes, you are correct. Everybody before this was gay. Maybe not, but no. One of my favorite straight actors, but they have done musicals. They just don't like to talk about them, so I'm going to make them talk about it today. Today on the show, we have one of my favorite people in the wide world, Shannon McGrann! Yay! Thanks, Shannon, for being here today. Yes, I had to drag her here.
You did.
To be on the show, because the very first thing you told me was, I don't want to sing.
No.
And I know the history with
you don't want to hear me sing.
That is so incorrect. Can I tell you, everybody that I've talked to, because your two friends, Mary Grimm and Steve Morris, said, you know, Shannon can actually sing really, really well.
No.
And
I'm like the 8 Annie. It's okay if its notes are weird or, not there.
No, because Steve told me
I'm a good enough actor that I can pull off a song, but I am not a good enough singer. Nowadays, especially, because there's so much, it's so different than,
It is, yes. I would agree with that. And we'll talk about how it's different a little bit. But I want to back up a little bit and talk about how we got to know each other and how I even know you, period. My first meeting with you was actually, I don't know if you even remember this, because it was so quick, was a Halloween party.
At Mary's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mary
so
threw that small Halloween party. And that's actually where I met Steve as well. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize it was him because he was wearing like a gorilla mask or something.
He?
I hope that was him. No, but I think, no, it was. Yeah, he was wearing some sort of mask.
I don't remember.
Yes, and I had already seen you in a show. No, you had just come off of doing A Doll's House Part 2.
Okay.
And I was just in awe the whole time that you were there, that I was nervous to even talk to you.
That's silly.
And I was like, oh, this is a lady that everybody's been talking. And I think you had just come off of like your 2-time award with like Dallas or DFW, like Best Actress. Something like that. Do you have the trophies at your house?
They don't give trophies.
They don't get...
No, or money. No money.
No. Well, you heard it here. There's no money in acting.
No. God, no.
No. Yeah, I think you had won like 2 consecutive years in a row.
Something like that.
Yeah, Best Actress in DFW. And I was like...
Sorry.
I love it. No, and so I was like, oh my goodness, this person is like the top actor. I really was not in the theater world at all.
Really? I didn't know that.
At all. Yeah, I was only in like music stuff, classical music, because I was in school with Mary and we were both on the music track, not the theater track. And then I think we met multiple other times with that. And then I started dog sitting for Mary, and you were going out of town and you needed a cat sitter.
Mm-hmm.
For your cats. And Rosie.
Yes.
Favorite cat in the... I think I had never really been close to cats until I met Rosie.
Really?
Yes, until Rosie scared the bejesus out of me.
Do tell, Daniel.
Yes, I will, because I remember all of the feelings that day. Shannon was out of town, and it was late in the evening, probably like 9 or so. And I just remember I'm looking all around for Rosie throughout the house, because Rosie is usually, in bed or just whatever.
Cats are ghosts.
Yes. And so I'm looking all around and I hear meowing, and I look up and Rosie is above the entryway, like near the entrance. You have those stairs that go up and then you kind of have like a landing.
Yeah, that stupid landing we don't know what to do with.
Yeah. And
so
Rosie,
our cat goes there.
Rosie is up there. And I'm like, Rosie, what are you doing? And just jumps
she dives down.
Yes!
She's never, I've worried about that, but she's never done it well.
Yeah, while you were home.
She waited until we left.
Yeah, no
Scared the heck out of you.
Yes. And so I called you and I was like, I don't know what's wrong. I don't think she's walking okay.
Oh.
And like, because she had gone into the closet. And in my head, I'm like, that's what pets do. They go away from people to die on their own.
She's fine, Daniel.
Yeah, no.
She has a slight skin condition, but that's Nothing to do with that.
Like, yeah, all because of the fall. And I just remember that moment being like, oh my gosh, I killed Shannon McGrann's cat. The #1 actress in DFW. I am going to be blacklisted for the rest of my life and never going to be able to work in theater again.
None of that is true.
And yeah, look at me. Nobody hires me. So
That's not true.
I think it's because of you, Shannon.
That's not true.
I think it's because of Rosie.
Daniel's in something right now.
I am. Yeah, as we're taping this right now, we just talked about it with Mary's episode as well. But yeah, in Sweeney Todd, so thank goodness I pushed Rosie off that landing.
You pushed her?
I mean, she jumped off the I couldn't even get up there if I tried.
I know. I have tried.
Have you tried?
It's scarier than you think. You think you're gonna, I can just like ease my way out there because I wanted to hang something up there because it's a stupid space. What do you put there? And then I got about 2 feet over and I was like, no, I can't do it. I was afraid I'd fall backward.
Oh my, yeah. Well, and it's like a thin lamp from what I remember. I think because doesn't it connect?
It looks not as wide from standing on the floor. It doesn't look as wide as it is, but it's like good 2 feet.
Yeah, no, that would not.
But it's when you're a grown up and you think you have responsibilities, you probably shouldn't be doing that.
That's very, very true.
Anyway.
Okay, so that's our history and how I got to know Shannon, the wonderful Shannon McGrann. I want to know a little bit more about yours. I know that you really weren't even interested in theater yourself, correct?
Well, I mean, my whole family is interested in theater, but I grew up watching my sister Erin act, and my aunt is also an actress, my father's sister, and I used to I don't know how I got away with it, but I would go to her rehearsals at high school and I would just hang out with my sister Erin, who's 6 years older than me, and just watch rehearsals. I kind of became a mascot, sort of. And then I went to the same high school and I ended up having the same drama teacher who, Jan Trunk, she's amazing and wonderful. And she really just like lit a fire in me and just made me believe in myself in a way that no one in my life had made me feel. So, and then the only way that I could get through college was on a scholarship, and I happened to get a full ride to Wesleyan, so Texas Wesleyan, so in theater, and that's just kind of propelled me forward. And then suddenly, I didn't know how to do anything except act. So I
have you done other things besides?
Yes, I've always had, up until I had my son, I always had a full-time job.
Okay.
Well, up until right before having my son, I always had a full-time job. Just doing whatever. And I've always had a commercial, not always, but out of college, I got a commercial agent, and juggling all of those, things is very difficult. And, fortunately, I can just do this now, but it's because I have a spouse who helps me out when I'm not making any money.
Yeah, and I think that that's definitely a good point to make, right? If you have someone that can help you out, that's so helpful, but it is hard sometimes, right? Especially in our day, I would say.
Piecemealing everything together,
Yeah.
I mean, contract to contract, excuse me. It's difficult. I'm a person who seeks security, and so that's why I always had a full-time job. I need my insurance, and it's difficult to keep your insurance with Actors Equity because you have to work so consistently. And so I would always have another job that had my insurance, and I could pay my rent, and I could pay my car payment, and things like that. And on top of it, at one point when I met my husband, I had 3 jobs. Did this acting, and I waited tables, and I had a full-time job. So you gotta work hard.
Yeah, no, I feel that, and I really do applaud that, just because I tried to live on my passion, right? I did voice lessons full-time as a contractor with a school, and it almost made me like hate my passion at the same time.
Yeah.
Just because you have to put all this work into even surviving.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it was, do you know what? Let me secure a full-time job that allows me to also live out my passion
Will you
as well.
talk to my son? he's a music major, and I mean, I want him to follow his passion, but
It's difficult. It really is. But I mean, as a teacher myself, right? Because I still do teach lessons on the side. I want my students to go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's what you want, and that's what you want to do. But sometimes we really do have to put things in perspective and say, okay, what can I do within my means, though?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that was a turning point for me. I think it was when I was 30, when I was finally like, oh, I'm gonna need to do something full time.
Yeah.
Because it really was waiting tables in addition to teaching lessons. And so,
And if you're okay with that, that's fantastic. You know, I mean, if some people are up for that, I like stability.
mhm.
And so I just want to know that things are going to happen a certain way. I don't fit into the world of acting very well. I'm kind of I like things in their place, but I'm really creative. And just gives me great anxiety.
No, and I understand that well, and I get you that I like stability, but I also like to be off my feet.
You.
So that's where I was like, oh,
Well, see, I get that on stage.
yeah.
I get to
Be off your feet on stage
Yeah,
with your legs up in
absolutely.
the air. I don't know if I've seen you in a show like that.
done plenty of that.
Were you really?
Oh,
Do you know what? One of my favorite shows that I did want to bring up today, where you kind of had one of those moments where you had to be that sexy person. Zoom in on that face.
no sexy.
When we edit that, was Hand to God.
Oh, loved it. Yeah.
I loved you in Hand to God.
Thank you.
And it was just directed so well. It was at Water Tower,
Yeah.
correct? Directed so well. And Parker's
amazing.
so great. I think everything that Parker does, he just has these nuances. And it's even just in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that the two of you work together as mother and son, and then the way that you played with, was it the pastor in that?
Probably Garrett Storms, not the pastor, but Timothy.
Yes. Oh,
I remember when you came to see that. Y'all came to a dress rehearsal.
We did,
Yeah.
yes. Just so one, and I had no idea what that show was about at all.
Yeah.
Had done no research at all. And if you get a chance to see Hand to God, go see it. Had you done research on that show at all?
Well, we just did our table work. I mean, you know, the playwright came to see the show and he was very pleased with it.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Would you say that that's one of your favorite roles, or which one?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of my favorite plays. One of my favorite roles is definitely, well, I love doing Nora in A Doll's House Part 2. I feel really fortunate to have just been able to do that.
Would you do that role again?
Yeah, absolutely, I would, under the right circumstances. But I love Della from The Cake. That's one of my favorite roles, and I would just do that over and over and over again. But my favorite that I've ever done, and I've done it 3 times, is The Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz. It's the best. I love children's theater.
It is, yeah.
It's very free.
We'll talk about that a little bit later, but you did a lot of children's theater as well. But we're going to take a small little break because since you brought up Della from The Cake, we're actually you're gonna give us a little preview of that here shortly. So we're gonna step over and have Shannon do some monologuing for us. See you in a bit.
See, what you have to do is really, truly follow the directions. That's what people don't understand. People watching the baking shows and they say to themselves, oh, I can do that. I am going to bake a cake from scratch. I am going to prove to myself that I am a person who is capable of such a thing. So they go out, they get all the ingredients, they bring them all home, they set them on the counter. First mistake they make, skimping. Skimping on milk, skimping on butter. They try and use tofu butter or whatever. Milk made out of nuts. What is this world? You got to get the real stuff. And I don't mean that organic this or that stuff. I don't care whether or not your eggs were ever caged. Whether they ever went to the movies. We're talking fat, buddy. Full fat, you gotta. Why go to Rome if you're not gonna eat the pasta? Why go to France if you're not going to eat the baguettes? Second mistake, they read in the cookbook. Whisk the wet ingredients together for 3 minutes, then fold in the dry ingredients in quarter parts, and they think to themselves, now I don't really have to do all that, do I? That's just a suggestion. I can just mix it all together, toss it in an ungreased pan at 350, hope for the best. Well, I say to those people, you are wrong. If you're not going to give your time and your worship to directions that have been crafted by trial and error, then you might as well do a darn cake from a box, which tastes like Scotch tape dipped in Splenda if you're asking. If you want to make it from scratch, then you gotta follow the directions. That's the only way you'll get that taste. It's the taste of time and obedience. All the scientists in the world could sit in a lab for eternity and never recreate it. So if you want results, if you want to bake a cake that you could take a nap in, that you want to crawl inside of, that you would die for, you must follow the directions.
I had no idea you could act.
Can't.
That was so good. I was almost emotional. Yeah, that was, the vapors. That was, no. So you've actually played that role twice now. One time was at Uptown Players, and the other time was at Theater Arlington. Both, I saw both of them.
You did?
Yes, I remember when I went to go see the one at Uptown Players, it was me, Mary, Steve, and Kevin, the set designer. And you were like halfway into the show, and Mary just leans back and she goes, she is channeling her mother.
I was actually channeling my mother's mother. My mother is much meaner. Or she was. But my nanny was a lot like Della, actually. You know, somebody she was taught certain things, so that's what she believes. And doesn't realize she needs to change what she believes until she's confronted with something personally.
Yeah, I will say,
a crisis of conscience.
And I think that's what I loved so much about that show, was that, especially at Theater Arlington, where it's a conservative group of people, they typically go see shows.
A few people walk out.
I was going to say, I think every show, I talked with the front of house, and they said pretty much every show somebody walked out.
That's so awful.
Which I doubt many people walked out at Uptown. You know what you're walking into, right?
Nobody walked out.
Yeah.
But it's not even a show, you know?
No.
It's just, I think when people get confronted by things that they don't agree with, they want to escape that. And the show, it's funny, it seems like this light little show, but everybody in it has a moment where they have to think about who they are and how they fit in the world with each other, and it all is from different directions. Everybody is from different directions, and I think people in the audience sometimes it makes them feel uncomfortable. They hear a show called The Cake, and they think they're coming to see a baker. You know, this silly little baker who's going to make some cakes, and she does that, and she is silly, but there's a lot of deeper things in it, and I think it's lovely. I think the message in it is lovely, and there are so many messages in it for everyone. So.
Yeah, no, it was very, like you said, deep and thought-provoking. But I would say that most of the shows that I've seen you in, you choose well.
Thank you.
Where,
well, I just wait to be chosen. I just get lucky sometimes.
Yeah, because even in the show that I saw you in at Stage West, where you played like the senator's wife.
Church and State.
Yes.
Oh, God, such a great show.
So wonderful.
Yeah.
That whole cast, really great.
It was really, really good.
Because even the assistant.
Yes.
I thought they were phenomenal in that role. I mean, even the husband role.
Yeah.
So great. But your character and the journey that your character had to make as well in that show.
Yeah, I like playing people who are very different than me because different from the way that I feel about life. I like being the mean person. I really want people to be kind to each other, but I really enjoy playing the bad person that has to make a switch around or doesn't make a switch around because it's fun to explore things like that.
Yeah, no, I think
Safely.
Do you ever take the opportunity to maybe go to theaters and be like, hey, I want to do this or anything like that? Or no?
I would never.
No.
I mean, the only person I would do that with is maybe Steve Morris here at Theater Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've known him since I was 22 years old and we're just really good friends. And so I might put a bug in his ear, but I just never would think to ask some, please produce me. Please produce me.
Was that a real
Someone produce me.
Because now you said you've known Steve since you were 22, but you really have been working since you were acting since you were how old?
Junior high.
Wow. But you've been an equity member since you were 26?
Yes.
And then...
So that's 30 years, 31.
And you got that, which we just, well, not just, because Mary's episode was almost 2 months ago now.
Oh my gosh.
I know, right? But you and Mary both did CASA.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where you got your equity card? Was it at that time or you already had it?
No, I got it before that. And I shouldn't have taken it when I took it.
Really?
Because I looked 14 and I was 26. I could still play teenagers. I still can play teenagers.
100%, yes.
And it was much different. It was much different back then in the fact that there were very few equity houses. There were very few contracts available. Young women were all over the place, ready to work and not, under an equity contract. And so I didn't, after I got my equity card, I don't think I worked for almost 2 years. And maybe one show in there, but it was hard. So, and then I started, kind of getting more work that way, but it's very difficult at a young age here. Now, if you're going to New York or Chicago, absolutely, but here it's just that we just don't have enough contracts to go around.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can find somebody else that can, do the job, it sounds so negative, but I'm kind of in New York. They'll choose them because they might have to save their contract for something specific.
Like a guy.
Like a man or someone who can juggle. I mean, that might be like, oh, we got to have this character that has to be able to juggle. Well, the only person I know who can juggle is this equity actor, so we got to give it to him. I'm just making shit up.
No, I know you've worked a lot at Stage West.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're getting to work again at Theater Arlington, now that Theater Arlington is equity. Have you done stuff at Uptown Players? Have you done stuff other places in the area? Or Water Tower was where Hannah...
Water Tower. Now you put me on the spot and I'm not going to be able to... Well, I worked at the theaters, Dallas Theater Center.
Oh, wonderful.
I did Christmas Carol there for 4 years. And
that's right. Don't you have a funny story about...
I do.
What happened?
Now, I might be mixing two parts of it together, but...
that's fine. It makes it a funnier story.
We were still at the Kalita. We were in the Kalita Humphreys Theater, and they used the turntable. And we had this song called Wassail. And Denise Lee was in this, she was a Christmas present, and she was singing the song and in the middle of the stage, and we were dancing around and running.
Sorry, you said she was Christmas present as in the character. I was imagining Denise Lee as a actual Christmas present.
She is a Christmas present.
Just a box coming out.
She is a Christmas present to all of us.
But yes, okay, continue. Dancing around.
The turntable is turning, and we're dancing and singing, and kids are running across the stage, and people are greeting each other and like, hello, wassail and waltzing and stuff like that. And it's going at a nice clip, the turntable. But somehow the sound sped up because we were singing to tracks. And so the tracks were going faster, and so we had to sing faster, which made us dance faster and run faster. And and we were just all looking, that lovely moment on stage when everything is going wrong and you're having the time of your life with your fellow actors. With that look of, this is awful, but it's so great. And I think it was that same night that the fire alarm went off. Because Joel Farrell likes fog. He loves fog. And there was so much fog in the redemption scene with Scrooge. Robert Langdon Lloyd, one of the gentlest, most wonderful humans on the planet, was our Scrooge. And he was, like broken down on the grave and of himself, of Scrooge. And the fire alarm goes off and we all have to leave, in our get-ups and go stand out on the outside with all the patrons.
Just all next to each other, just
and wait. What do you do? So you enjoying the show? Oh, that's good, isn't it? I like that part where. And so then we get cleared to go back in, and he has to go back to the grave and lean over it and start all up again. And he's a trooper, and he did it. And it's a story to tell.
Oh my gosh, I actually just heard a story not too long ago, Carousel, where, because you know how the main guy dies in the first act.
Yeah.
And so he was on the floor, Joshua Henry, is that his name? Yes, Joshua Henry. He was on the floor, dead already, and the actress is crying over him.
Oh.
Fire alarms go off. Yeah. And so,
he raises from.
Yeah, so they were like, it's not an emergency where we need to clear the theater, but we do have to do a hold. And so they were so far up, where they couldn't even close the curtain, so he had to get up.
And go die by.
And go and just walk out, and then it was just. And so when it came back, they opened the curtain, and I think it was Jessie Mueller who's over him, and she said that he just walked out and just went, and just went back to dying. I was like, I guess that's what we have to do,
yeah.
Right? I can't imagine just having to get back in that moment.
Yeah.
Of where you were. I mean, wherever he was dead. So speaking of acting as someone else, right? That's something that I do want to talk about, because I feel like one thing that we really don't talk about enough in our theater realm, and something that you've told me about, is just that constant anxiety, right? Of that feeling of every actor feels like they need to be an extrovert. And are you an extrovert?
No. I mean, I may seem like that to people, but and I am with people that I'm close to, friends with, or in the right scenario, but I'm very much a homebody, introvert. I don't even really like to go to parties because I'm very anxious. Can you tell? I'm an anxious person. Mm-hmm. There's medication for it, and I take it. It's just life makes me anxious, and constant approval. Needing constant approval makes me anxious. So, I mean, sometimes it's just easier for me to shut down. But when I'm on stage, I'm all good.
Yeah, it's easier to be someone else.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Than it is yourself.
Definitely.
And almost to the point that, do you feel that you put on a persona even as yourself?
Sometimes, yeah. Right now.
Stare into the camera.
I'm not. I swear, this is me.
No, this is...
Sadly, this is all me.
This is authentic. Guys, I'm excited about these clips that we have of just zooming in on Shannon, because we have so much TikTok.
Oh, wait, how do I look?
But no, and that's something that I did want to bring to light, because I feel like we don't talk about it enough. Everybody's like, oh, I'm so comfortable, I'm so confident, I'm so real.
Everybody's Instagram polished.
I feel is so accomplished in our realm, but you still have that feeling of not being worthy, really.
Absolutely.
And
it's called childhood trauma that I carry.
Well, we don't
With
have enough
me.
time
Yeah.
for.
Is this my therapy session? Is my hour up?
Yeah, just you. Yes, actually, what I wanted to talk about was, but again, you know, I do feel like you are constantly booked and blessed.
I have been, but there have been times.
Well, in the time that I've, you know, seen DFW
Maybe
theater.
you're my lucky charm.
Well, there you go. Yeah, just
Thank
take my
you.
foot around. Do you want me to cut it off for you?
Yes.
You can have a you can have a Daniel's foot. So I think that that's something that I wanted to bring to light. You know, that like even someone like Shannon McGrann, you know, the Shannon McGrann, has feelings I see constantly, like that. So we all have feelings like that. Like, oh my gosh, I get out there and I'm like, what words am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to do?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But you do it seamlessly. So, but we're gonna go and take a small little break. We're gonna play a game with Shannon. I know. Speaking of anxious, I didn't tell her we were playing a game, so all the more exciting. But we'll be right back. Shannon.
What?
Shannon McGrann.
What?
Thank you for being on Daniel Does DFW.
I'm so scared.
Game show.
I'm so scared.
Dun, 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 dun. I need insert music here. So we're gonna play same line, different meaning.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna give you a famous movie line. We picked the top 3 favorites.
Okay.
All right, and I have 5 emotions.
For each one?
Yes, for each one.
God, this is gonna take a long time. Just kidding.
Fuck you too. Fuck my drag. Goodness. What we'll do is I will give you the line.
Uh-huh.
Then I will give you the emotion. We'll take like a 2 minute.
Wow.
It will take a long time. Just a 2-beat pause, and then if you can give it to me.
Okay. That was a 2-beat. No.
Edit that out. So yes. All right. Your first line.
Yes. Okay.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. So if you just want to say it normal, Shannon.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Energetic.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Proud.
Oh, what is that even? Okay. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Disgusted.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Confused.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
You had me convinced you were confused because I was like, does she know the line?
I am confused.
And angry.
I live angry. Okay. So it sounds the same as everything else.
Sounds exactly like yours. The original. We can just cut the first one.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Oh, did you see the teeth? It was all in the.
Did I spit?
No, it was a. All right. Line number 2.
Okay.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
That's not true. I'm just kidding.
Say it as Shannon McGrann.
Love means never having to say you're sorry. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's real sweet. Happy.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
Ashamed.
Oh. I know so much about shame. I can't stop laughing. Love means never having to say you're sorry. No, cut that one. Let's use something else. Next.
Hysterical.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
That's my favorite one. Jealous.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
That's good. Bored.
Love music. Hey, you're sorry. Did you hear the words?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
great. All right.
I'm a great actress. Just
So-
hire me already. I mean, you've seen my range. It's phenomenal. Next.
You don't book
Is
her
there
now.
more?
There's one more. The last one. All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
All right, Mr. DeMille.
As Shannon McGrann.
Sorry. All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Sobbing.
Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. Is this supposed to be real? Like, am I supposed to be really acting?
Impatient.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Exhausted.
Oh, this is like playing with my kid, Daniel.
Love it.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Insecure.
Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. I said I'm ready for my close-up.
And can you give us your best Norma Desmond?
Oh, I don't know. All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. Did my eyebrows move because I've had a little Botox?
We're going to tally up the scores and see how she
Did I win?
We're going to see. I'm sorry to tell you that you lost the game. No. Speaking of losses,
Yes. Ooh, wait. What?
yes, we're no longer friends. I won't talk to you for a year.
Okay.
Tell me about, have you ever, this may be shocking to you, have you ever lost out on a role or lost out?
Uh-huh.
Have you really?
Are you kidding me?
I'm just saying,
Listen.
I feel like everything you audition for, they're like, Shannon McGrann.
No.
Really?
No.
Has there ever been an audition that you've bombed maybe or haven't felt good about that you can talk about?
I bombed a lot of them, but one that just sticks in my head is, it was at Stage West, and it was, well, there are lots. When I moved to California for a little bit when my husband took a job there, and I bombed a lot there because I just had no confidence. And but at Stage West, they were doing Into the Breaches, which is a great show, and all the people that should have been in it were in it. My audition was I don't remember the director's name, but I had never met her before, and the part was kind of this pompous, aging actress who just, was very much in charge of the situation. And I thought, oh, this is in my wheelhouse. I can do this. Oh my God. I don't know what I was thinking. I ended up being Maura from Schitt's Creek. And it was... Yeah, it was awful. And it was my callback. And I grabbed Dana Schultes as I was leaving, because I had just finished I had a commercial shoot that day, and then I came over to Stage West and I changed clothes and I got in there and I just whipped it out. And I grabbed her on the way out and I said, can I have another chance? I don't know what happened in there. She goes, we all have bad days. We all have bad days. And I was like, I was mortified. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but it was horrible. I mean, you just know when you walk out of the room, you're like, what? Who the hell was that?
Yeah. How did Moira come into my body?
Yeah, she did. And not even good Moira. How are you saying her name?
I love it.
I love her.
I think that you could play Moira, though. I think you could do something.
Well, not in that show.
Not there. Yes, I think you're right. Not there. You mentioned commercials. So I do want to talk about some of your other, not just theater work, but other things you've done as well. Because I know you've done film, commercials, TV, stuff like that. I'm going to take it all the way back. To Barney. Because I know that you've done Barney. Way back in the day, you did was it 2 movies?
They put stuff on video, like No, I've done several of the episodes and like the TV show, and then I've been one, little movie video that they have.
Yeah, where you played like the Queen of Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then I remember you, I think I remember you in the episode because you were like wearing overalls or something.
It was this lady with the dog. I got to work with a lot of dogs. They
That's
had all
nice.
these dogs and they were so sweet and fun. We had a dog parade. And
Great.
I was also a male lady. A
Okay.
male lady with a dog. Not an M-A-L-E lady, but an M-A-I-L lady. What? I'm just being...
We do need to clarify that for our audience. Yes, I appreciate you clarifying that you were not a male lady.
No. And then one episode I was puppets. I was the voice of puppets.
Okay.
And I did the puppets.
Did you get to do any episodes with some famous people that we know today? Or anything?
Well, Patty Wirtz is BJ, the voice of BJ.
Oh.
And I also would go in once in a while and I would do the voices when the people who did the voices of Baby Bop and I don't think I ever did BJ, but Riff. I laugh at that one because I could not do the voice, but just as a filler because that person was out, and then but I could get the cadence, and so then they would come back in and record on top of it.
I love that. I love that so much.
I loved working on Barney. They were wonderful people. They
Yeah.
are wonderful people.
I wish we had more shows like Barney today,
Well,
or Mr. Rogers.
I mean, I didn't appreciate Barney as a parent so much or as a viewer so much as I did. I appreciated it more once they were very fun.
Love that. Did you get to work with like Selena Gomez or?
Not on Barney, but I did a commercial with her.
Oh, what type of commercial?
Texas Lottery.
Love that. My favorite commercial, and I do just want to ask how your
Yeah.
fibromyalgia is
It's
doing.
good.
We're gonna show a small little clip here.
I have a picture on my phone. I can send it to you.
Yes, because when I tell you, it's just one of my favorite things, and because it's on some website. When you search your name,
Oh, yeah?
search Shannon McGrann.
I need to be paid for that.
Yeah. It's on some website. I've watched it at least 10
okay.
times, so maybe you're getting residuals.
Oh no, I think that's just yeah.
Oh, okay. So that, and then one of my other favorite things that I know that you did, because you told us about it, there was like a whole watch party that you were having as well. Not party, because she doesn't party.
Just Mary and I.
Yeah. And then you did something where you played Carrie Fisher,
Mhm.
right? What was that called?
The Price of Fame, Carrie Fisher.
Did you just find that because our producer told you?
Exactly. I
No.
couldn't remember the Price of Fame part.
The Price of Fame, which you looked amazing in that. I love.
Thank you.
You did, yeah. They should have had you play all the Carries.
No, because they had to have someone who could wear that little bikini thing.
You could pull it off.
No. But what was funny and that young lady was lovely, and she looked a lot like Carrie Fisher, young Carrie Fisher. She was the Carrie Fisher in all the early Star Wars movies, or the ones that were made early. And then I was the Carrie Fisher, the one that is no longer with us. We miss you, Carrie. And in all the later ones
Yeah, which
that were made later.
I think that's awesome. How did you even? Is that through your commercial agent or?
Yeah.
That's so smart. I didn't even think that you looked like Carrie Fisher, really.
Oh,
And
yeah?
then I guess it was. I mean, until I saw the photos and I was like, oh my gosh, it's really uncanny.
The only thing they really did was they gave me dark contacts because she has very dark brown eyes. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Anything else that you've done that we can see you in, or that like a Netflix?
If you blink,
Uh-huh.
you'll miss me on both of them. But I think I'm still on Netflix in a movie called Look Both Ways. I'm a doctor, giving the good news of baby, and I got to deliver a baby, but they don't show that part.
Oh.
The baby was 10 days old. His name was Rocky. Precious. I know. And then I have a little one scene on Love and Death on Max,
Really?
where I'm just the nosy person in the neighborhood.
What episode do you remember?
No.
I'm just asking all the questions here.
106?
Something. Love and Death. That's right. I think I saw people posting about that when it came out. Because it wasn't too long ago.
We had a lot of local people because we shot in Austin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. And then, do you have any upcoming projects? I know, actually, because it's already been announced, I know that you're currently about to open, or we may already, depends on when this episode comes out, we'll see. But Steel Magnolias with Theater Arlington, where you are playing the role of Truvy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting. But no, you are gonna kill it as Truvy, I already know. Because is that a role that you have wanted to play before, or is it just...
I've done it.
You've done it before?
I have.
Really? Have you also played Malin before, or?
No, and I haven't.
No, and I haven't.
I'm tired of playing sad people.
Okay, I think I just really, really wanted you, which in our game, the line that I wanted you to say was...
Drink your juice.
Yes! I wanted it so bad.
That makes me laugh. I have a real hard time because it's been made, it's just been made into this kind of a joke of a thing.
Yes.
And I mean, it's very serious.
Yes.
And in the moment, I won't laugh. But
yeah, that, and then I wanted to see, which Kara, I'm sure, amazing. But just that whole descent into that, the sadness at the funeral scene, which I'm excited to see Kara do. But I'm excited to see you do the, little country bumpkin that...
I guess.
You do it well, Della,
Yeah.
Kind of was a little bit of, where was she? Was she like Georgia?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of still that Bible Belt feeling. So, I mean, you're going to kill it. All of you in that. Like Maisha. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun show.
Yeah, I'm excited about her. Olivia.
Just saw Olivia in POTUS. She was brilliant.
I have not seen that yet, but yes.
Very, very fun.
I saw that they extended it another weekend as well.
You should go see it. It's very
I'm
fun.
going to try, yes.
But it's going to be done by the time.
Yeah, it's definitely done by the time this comes out.
You can't see it now.
Yeah, don't try to go see it now, unless they take it somewhere else. Stage West is starting to do that partnership.
I think that's a way that people are recovering from the pandemic, sharing the expense of putting on a production.
It's smart.
Yeah.
I like how they did it with The Play That Goes Wrong, and the fact that they're bringing it back as well is super smart on their part. Any other projects that you can talk about, or anything else that you have coming up?
In September, I think I can talk about this. I've been told I can talk about it, so I can. The importance of being earnest at Stage West. And then I have something else right after that, but I can't really say.
Okay. Oh, well, that's exciting. But
theater-wise,
yes,
I don't know. Everything changes on the daily with the TV film stuff.
I know. Well, for example,
I just cross my fingers.
Our producer Natalie was supposed to be here for recording, and she's currently doing a commercial.
Good for her.
Yeah. No, I know. Wonderful. Thanks, Natalie, for not being
here. You ruined everything.
Honestly, Shannon was very upset that nothing was together. The most disappointed. So before we close out, I do want to ask, because I feel like we've talked about all of your theater stuff. Is there anything, do you have any other passions besides theater, or not at all?
No, I do. Very little. I don't have time for anything. My main passion is my son. Much to his chagrin. I mean, did I use that word right? I love that kid, and I just think he's the greatest thing on the planet, and I just want to be with him all the time, but he's in college and he doesn't want to be with me.
Yeah, he's a horned frog, right? Going to TCU, and I cannot believe he's in college.
I can't either.
That he's 20.
Yeah,
he's gonna be drinking age.
Shut up, Daniel.
Uncle Daniel's gonna have to take him out for a drink.
No.
I already told Max. I was like, Uncle Daniel has to take you out for a drink.
You can take Max, but not Owen.
Can you imagine?
No. That's why. No,
why
I
were you
can't.
so scared?
He's a good boy.
Yeah.
And he needs to stay that way so I can sleep at night.
Yeah. No. And I think just like Mary said the same thing, right? Her passion was her children, and I think having the time for your kids and wanting to put that time back into it is just so special. just because I had parents that were super supportive in everything that I did. And so I love that you're able to and want to spend all the time.
I do. I really do.
And
just
believe
the
me,
best.
they will grow to understand.
Oh, he does. It's just, he's busy and he wants, I want him to grow and learn and be a man or a woman if that's what he chooses. I don't care. I just want him to be a grown up in the world. And I know that means breaking away from me. But I never thought I would be this kind of mom. I didn't know that a child would affect me so much. I'm gonna get weepy. He's just the best thing that ever happened in my life.
Aw,
And I just want him to have all good things.
are we all
I love you, Owen. Mommy loves you. He stopped calling me mommy at a very young age and it broke my heart. Mom.
Oh, okay, well, I'm sobbing. So we're gonna end it on a happy note here. Because what I do want you, so we talked about love, we've talked about hate. No, just kidding. I do want to end it by thanking you for real. I love you so much as well. I don't hate you. I'm glad that we are friends. I'm glad that Mary introduced us, that you were in my life, and that you agreed to do this, even though you were like, hell no at first.
I don't like to be myself.
But I was not kidding when I think it was like 5 text messages back and forth where I was like, what if I do this? Is this the problem?
I kept thinking you'd give up and move on.
And I was
not because
persistent.
I think, that I'm that sought after, but I just was like, if I put enough roadblocks up, I won't have to go be on camera.
And sure enough, she's here because I begged. And I think I even had Mary, I was like, Mary, if you can tell her how great it was, then...
It was great, thank you.
So yes, well, I hope you had a good time. I hope you were comfortable. I appreciate you sharing everything that you had to share with not only me, but everyone here in DFW and whoever else is watching, Mom. So thank you for that. And yeah, guys, make sure that you follow us on our social media, Instagram, Facebook. You listen wherever you get your podcasts, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, but mostly that you're also watching on our YouTube channel do I even know the name of my own podcast? At Daniel Does DFW is where you can catch the podcast. So once again, thanks Shannon for being here today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye, guys.